Something big could be brewing in Philly. According to Dave Pagnotta, a few NHL teams are kicking the tires on Owen Tippett, and one of them could be the Buffalo Sabres, who need to replace JJ Peterka after moving him over the offseason. That's right. Owen Tippett's name's out there, and the Flyers could be looking for a blockbuster return. Think Owen Power, think Bowen Byram, and there's another wrinkle. Emil Andre could be part of a package, since it's becoming clear that he doesn't have a long-term fit in Philadelphia. So what's really going on? Let's break down the rumor, the fit, and what it means for the Flyers moving forward. So keep it here. Owen Tippett's name has started to swirl in trade rumors, and not from thin air. According to Dave Pagnotta, multiple NHL teams have kicked the tires on the Flyers winger. Tippett's been a bright spot since joining Philadelphia, but the organization suddenly finds itself loaded on the wings. With Matvei Michkov, Tyson Foerster, and Bobby Brink all pushing for ice time, that kind of depth creates opportunity and temptation. The timing matters too. Tippett's no-trade clause doesn't kick in until next summer, and if the Flyers are going to explore, this is when it will happen. One team that repeatedly keeps popping up in whispers, the Buffalo Sabres. After dealing JJ Peterka over the offseason, Buffalo's been looking for an established scoring winger, and Tippett fits that mold perfectly. A powerful north-south skater who can finish off the rush and rip one-timers from the circle. The Sabres want to eventually make a push for the playoffs, and adding Tippett's offense could immediately fill Peterka's void. On paper, it's a hockey trade that helps both sides, but what could Philadelphia want in return? For Danny Brière and the Flyers, the move would be about stabilizing the back end. They have promise up front, but the defense still lacks a true number one presence. That's why Buffalo's blue line depth looks so intriguing. Names like Owen Power and Bowen Byram naturally come up. Both are young, mobile, and carry top pair upside, the exact type of player Philadelphia has been searching for since Ryan Ellis went down. The idea of flipping a scoring winger for a franchise defenseman, that's how you reshape a roster overnight. But there's another layer to this still, and that's Emil Andre. After being cut in Flyers camp and sent back to Lehigh Valley a couple times now, it's clear the organization is struggling to find a long-term fit for their undersized defenseman. In a potential Buffalo deal, Andre could become a logical sweetener, a young puck-moving blue liner who might flourish in a system with more room for experimentation. For Philadelphia, including Andre clears a crowded depth chart and helps balance out the trade value. For Buffalo, it's a gamble on skill and vision. Of course, Buffalo won't move a player like Power lightly. He was the first overall pick in 2021 and still viewed as a foundational piece. Byram, though, is a more realistic name. He's shown flashes of brilliance, but also bouts of inconsistency. For the Sabres, the question is, do you trade defense for offense? They've been trying to find scoring stability for years, and Tippett could bring that. But losing one of their key young defenders could backfire if their defensive structure falters. The Flyers aren't shopping Tippett, but they'd be smart to listen. He's proven he can score at a 25-goal pace. He's locked into a manageable $6.2 million cap hit through 2031, and he's still just 26 years old. That's prime trade chip material. If you can turn a strong middle six scorer into a legitimate top-pair defenseman or even a young blue line cornerstone, it's a conversation you have to have. Obviously, the logic here is that Philadelphia gets a franchise defenseman while Buffalo replenishes some offense. Each side would address its biggest hole, but deals like that rarely happen this early in the season. Even if a trade never materializes, this rumor says something about the Flyers' direction. Brière's front office is aggressive, forward-thinking, and unafraid to shake things up. They're evaluating every piece, even the ones fans assumed could be safe. Tippett's not being pushed out. He's just valuable enough to attract attention, and that's a good thing. It means the rebuild's producing pieces other teams actually want.
When you're on the ice, not a word really needs to be spoken. That was the beauty of being a Flyer.
I've played with a lot of great teams, a lot of great players, but that was the closest group of teammates I've ever played with.
In football, you need that quarterback to be special. In hockey, you need your goaltender to be special. And Pelle was just beginning to emerge as a player.
Pelle wanted so desperately to be a star in the NHL. It's what he wanted most.
Pelle Lindbergh. Thank you, Bernie.
By all accounts, Pelle was not a drinker.
He picked his spots carefully. He would drink, but to be impaired, intoxicated, very rare.
And then the next thing I know, all I seen was a white wall. I said, Pelle, there's a white wall. There's a white wall.
It was a horrific scene. The car was mangled.
The headlight in front of Pelle had to be back 3 feet from where it initially should have been.
I read an article, you almost got into the Porsche. Is that true?
Not really. Me and Murray Craven lived 3 blocks from the establishment, so we just walked home.
Catching the wall right here in this corner, it was devastating.
And he went into cardiac arrest, and CPR was started immediately.
Talked to the police. I asked him, I said, is he going to be okay? And the police officer said, he'll be lucky to live.
Police officer asked us if we had to identify a body. And I remember looking at Murray, and Murray goes, I can't do it. My gut was turning, and I didn't know what to do.
And he passed away when I was holding his hand. You know,
That moment,
yeah. And so we were destined to be a team.
Pelle, I don't blame you. I never blamed you. I wish I could take that day back. And so many people you've touched in your life miss you.
If you want to know whether this rumor has legs, here's what to keep an eye on. Does Tippett's ice time change in the next few weeks? Does Andre get extra looks? Are Buffalo insiders hinting at a defenseman being shopped? The Flyers aren't going to rush anything, but if you start hearing the same names popping up in multiple markets, Tippett, Byram, Power, Andre, that's when smoke starts looking more like fire. So is Owen Tippett actually on the trade block? Probably not in the formal sense, but the calls are coming. And Danny Brière's listening. The Flyers need help on defense, there's no doubt. And Buffalo needs scoring. The puzzle pieces fit. Whether it's Power, Byram, or someone else entirely, Philadelphia is looking for the right move at the right time. And if it involves Tippett, it'll be a blockbuster that defines this new Flyers era. And so here's where things stand. Nothing's official, nothing's confirmed, but where there's smoke in Philly, there's usually something cooking behind the scenes. Owen Tippett's name floating in trade talks isn't random. He's a proven scorer, entering his prime, and teams know exactly what kind of value he brings. But for the Flyers, if Danny Brière is truly aiming to bring in a top-pair defenseman, this might be the kind of bold move that accelerates the rebuild fast. And let's be honest, losing Tippett would sting. He's been one of the few consistent offensive threats in orange and black the last few seasons. But if the return is a young cornerstone defenseman like Power or Byram, that's the kind of move that could define the next decade of Flyers hockey. The question now, do you pull the trigger, or do you stay patient and bet on Tippett taking another step? Let me know what you think in the comments. Would you trade Tippett for a D-man, or should the Flyers hold tight? This is HW Hockey. Hit like, subscribe, and we'll keep you updated the second anything breaks. In the meantime, don't forget to keep it high, keep it wide, and I'll see you guys next time on HW Hockey.